the desert of the real.
Take it away, Dr. Dietz.
Welcome to the desert of the real. I'm your host, Jason Dietz. Joined with me is your other host, who is not a demon,
Ryan Hudson.
The Desert of the Real, Jason's Choice, is a movie podcast where I pick fantastic movies for my co-host, Ryan, to watch that he hasn't watched yet because he's so busy watching schlock.
Oh my.
What? It's facts. It's demonstrable.
Do you want me to tell you what I've been watching?
Yeah. What
Actually,
do you got? That's what I thought. Schlock.
1970s. Yeah, okay. No, do you want me to know?
Was it schlock?
Well, okay. Depends on how you define schlock, but...
Blockbusters.
No, it wasn't blockbuster.
Okay. So for this podcast, we watched I don't know if it's really a horror movie, but it's classed as a horror movie. But anyhow, for this podcast, we watched Nefarious, which is one of my favorite movies, and a movie that I think is a perfect movie if they would cut off the last 5 minutes of it, which are completely unnecessary, but I'm sure we'll get to that. We're here to ask if this movie has anything deep to say, which it does. We're two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, philosophy, film studies, and ethics in our films, and push our listeners to think critically about their entertainment. We really appreciate you coming, listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this fantastic piece of movie making. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate you listening. Welcome back.
So, last week I said this movie was rated R. It's not. I don't think this movie has a rating.
Oh.
I think it does drop the F-bomb once, though.
Oh.
But besides that, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
And then maybe some upsetting images at the end, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not too bad, though, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an hour and a half long conversation.
Yep.
So, were you bored with the conversation at some point?
Well, let me give you...
go.
Here's a hot take, I think.
Okay, take it hotly.
This is the worst Jason's Choice movie we've had to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
out
crazy.
of all of them. Here's one reason why.
Okay.
We watched Buried not too long ago.
Did.
Ryan Reynolds, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason we chose it, even though I've seen that one before. But I'm happy to rewatch it for the first time since high school. I was thinking about that movie during this because there's a couple of choices you've made, like Buried, where it's like, clearly there's... The filmmakers are using what they can, maybe not the biggest budget or the biggest stars or whatever.
Sure.
But I couldn't help but notice, I was like, Buried was in a box and was more experimental, interesting the entire time, while this movie has a prison, a whole room, 2 people, and it's just kind of not as engaging.
Interesting.
I think the conversations were interesting. I think for me it was kind of like peaks and valleys. It's like, all right, now it's feeling a little long here. Oh, now this is interesting. And like, all right, maybe this one isn't as...
So name one valley.
Okay, that's great. Let me look at my notes. Let me consult my notes.
How the tables have turned.
Well, man, it's Okay, so here's the thing. I had no idea about this movie. I didn't know anything about this movie going in. And about a quarter of our way through, I looked up this actor, because the guy who plays the demon is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
He's incredible. He's not in a lot of things. The other guy is in some stuff, but nothing too big. He was in Entourage, but who's even seen Entourage?
Who's even heard of Entourage?
Right. But the directors, because there's 2 directors, I was like, who are these guys? Their biggest claim to fame is not directing, but writing the God's Not Dead movies.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen those.
I've seen one of them.
But I know they're big. They're one of the few Christian movies that kind of broke the mold in some ways.
Mainstreamed a little bit.
And I had no idea, I guess, that this was a Christian movie, because it's kind of...
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's kind of...
Until, 2/3 of the way
Yeah.
through on my first watch.
Right. And here's the thing. I don't know. I'm a Christian. I will not say I enjoy watching most Christian movies. I will say maybe by default this is the best one I've seen. But part of me couldn't help but wishing there was for something more with this demon possessive.
Like you wanted like flames shooting up the walls, or
I don't know. I think it had the opportunity to do something like kind of shocking at the end if it wanted to.
it did.
Well,
Kind of.
I mean, and we'll get to the ending in a little bit, but so here's like the double-edged sword, and I'm just gonna come out not swinging,
Swing.
but some people would think this is a hot take. Like, this movie has a firm stance on how abortion is bad, and that's about when I was like, oh, like putting like, okay, that's like the people who made this movie. And here's the thing: I think abortion is bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my strong personal beliefs in life that is a very hot button issue with a lot of people.
Right.
But somehow when that part happened in the movie, I was like, oh, okay. It's this type of movie. Even though I was agreeing with the message it was saying, I was like, all right, I understand the people who made this. Is that weird to say, or is that fair to say, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, so it's like at school, right? People can wear whatever the crap they want within reason. You can have a, devil horn shirt, whatever. But as soon as you bring in some kind of Christian thing or religious thing, people have more of an issue with that. So we have, I honestly would not call this a Christian movie. I would say this is a religiously bent philosophical movie. It has definite opinions on a lot of philosophical issues.
Yeah.
But I don't, aside from the fact that he's a demon,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks about, rebelling against God, and he talks about the carpenter. I feel like this is more an exploration of what if we push the religious answer to a number of philosophical questions to its limit. What happens? It is definitely a didactic movie.
Yeah.
It has a message. It has an axe to grind.
Yeah, and I think the ending is where it's
The
like
ending sucks.
a complete full stop. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
come on.
I really was disappointed in the
Which,
in the 1 year later and all of that
Yeah.
crap. That was cool.
it's just, I guess, the thing, it's weird to say, as someone who is a Christian, where it's like sometimes when there's Christian media, it's like, is it bad to say eye roll worthy sometimes? It's
Sometimes
like,
it is.
all right. Okay.
So I disagree
Yes,
with
I was
your
hoping...
take on this movie as an eye roll. Obviously, since I picked it as one of my choices, I think that this, like I said before we started, I think up until that 1 year later chunk that this is a flawlessly scripted movie.
I did see on the Amazon X-ray thing where it has tidbits that pop up. I was looking at those sometimes. It said every single word was scripted.
Yeah.
To the syllable.
It is. I feel like this is a really good example of how to make an argument about contentious issues while presenting both sides, because we have the demon, who is obviously the reverse version of a religious take, right?
Yeah.
So everything that he says is the opposite of what a religious person would believe in or think. And then we have the atheist, right? Mm-hmm. And so the complexity of their interaction, as I feel like they did a really good job presenting the atheist position.
Uh-huh.
Like everything that the psychiatrist says and how they respond, I feel is true to how an atheist would respond. Not having ever been an atheist, I don't know necessarily.
I think the writing is good. I think like the ideas are good. I was just left wanting more. But I'm agreeing, like what the demon says, the atheist says. I think it's natural, good conversation.
Yeah.
I think it is
great
what
argument.
an atheist would believe. It also would be what a demon would argue. I think all of that is the good stuff of this movie.
So you just wanted more blockbustery stuff.
I feel like, okay,
You needed
I
some
read
explosions and some...
Yes, I needed a head to explode.
A half-naked person running across the background.
I needed a demon with a goat head and... no. I read one review on Letterboxd, like, one of the plebs watching this. Not like... It wasn't like a critic. It was like a movie critic. It was just a person.
Yeah.
And they said, I went into this blindly. I knew demon possession movie, and then... left being like, oh, that was the boring version of it. And I can't help thinking that's maybe where I am
sure.
with.
When you think of demon possession, you're thinking of The Exorcist.
I have a list of the top demon possession movies. Let me pull it up.
The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's got a great 5-6 minutes, and that's about it.
I strongly disagree.
You want to talk about a boring movie? That's a boring freaking movie. It is.
No, that's not
Nothing
even it.
happens for like 2 hours, and then Reagan spins her head around and pukes, and then nothing happens again. The end.
Sorry.
Not a fan of The Exorcist.
I was like, I can't find it here. Okay, so here is the list.
Okay.
Exorcist number one, hard to argue. But this list has Exorcist 3 as the next one.
Never seen it.
I haven't seen 2 or 3 or all the other ones, only the first one. But apparently 3 is the other good one. It's like people
good
say...
as compared to the
as
first
in,
one?
it's scary, it's interesting. I don't know.
The Exorcist is not
I don't think
scary.
anything scares you. You're just saying how nothing scares you.
Okay, that might be. But The Exorcist really doesn't scare me.
It has The Omen, which I
Yeah.
have not seen.
Damien's pretty freaky as a scary kid.
You know what's funny?
Kids are scary in horror movies.
If it's good. Remember we watched what's the house movie? The Others. There's a scene
So good.
where a girl is in the scary part, and as a kid when I saw that, traumatized me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good scary movie.
When I was in 6th grade.
I don't know if that's a possession movie. But...
No, that's not. That was just an example of a kid being scary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In 6th grade, the remake of The Omen came out, which, as far as I know, doesn't exist. And
Yeah, I haven't seen
whatever. It came
Why
out.
would you remake a amazing anyhow?
Okay, in 6th grade, because it came out on 666, and I remember like a kid saying that's the devil number. And I'm like, what? Never heard of that before. They're like, what are you talking about? Anyway, this has The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's a good one.
From
I like
2005.
that one a
I have
lot.
not seen any of those except for the first. Then it has modern psychological possession films. It has The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Hereditary, The Pope's Exorcist. That only came out 2 years ago.
I haven't seen that one.
The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yes.
Which is too scary. Don't want to watch. Too spooky.
Yes.
And also from a couple years ago. Oh, Nefarious is on this list.
Yeah.
Yay.
See? Best possession movie.
Okay, then I just want to cut down to the cult favorite / hidden gems. Well, Evil Dead is not a cult. It's a cult favorite, but not a hidden gem. Evil Dead's well known and loved.
Sure.
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
That's amazing.
This one's, if you want to explore theology more deeply, The Wailing.
I have not heard of that one.
Don't know that one. It came out 2016. I don't know. The Nun. The Right.
The Nun sucks. The Nun is scary as heck.
Is
the
it?
movie sucks.
Oh.
But the Nun herself is terrifying.
Here's 2 that I see pop up on critics lists in general. Saint Maud from 2019.
I haven't seen
The Black Coat's Daughter.
Haven't seen that either.
Anyway, I haven't seen. I've only seen
You've seen one
2
of
of those, including Evil Dead. But anyway, so I guess where this one stacks up, it's the message is super deliberate at the end.
Well, yeah. So this is more about obviously about the message being debated and portrayed and interacted than being a horror movie.
Right. It's more interested in the conversation, the debate, the philosophy.
So it does itself a disservice marketing itself as a horror movie.
That's true. I think, and to the credit of what it's trying to be, it does a great job.
Okay. So we can agree.
Yeah.
This sucks as a horror movie. It's not scary at all. But for what it is, it works really well. Okay. I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
I concur, Ryan.
Maybe some... I think the guy, the doctor, has some questionable acting moments.
Yeah.
There's a part... So first I was like, this is a classic either-or genre that we talked about with K-Pax. K-Pax, a movie, is he an alien or is he not an alien? Right. I was like, is this going to be either he's a demon or not? Like, no, I think he's a demon. I think it's not even questionable that this guy... By
the end, it's not,
is
for sure.
a demon. I feel like when the guy freaks out, he like throws a chair or something. I was like, okay, come on. You should know better. I think...
Okay.
All right. No, yeah, I won that argument. You're wrong.
Okay. I said okay. But, like, if you imagine that if we accept the premise of this movie, that this is a demon, he has access to, obviously, way more knowledge than average human being.
Yeah.
Access to hidden knowledge. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is how knowledge allows one of two things. Having knowledge allows us to empower and uplift people, or having knowledge allows us to poke and denigrate people. And I feel like that scene is a perfect example of the last one. He knows enough about this psychiatrist he's up against to know exactly where to poke to get the response that he wants.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any issues with it because, I mean, if I were trying to do that, yes, that would be totally questionable. If I'm sitting across from that psychologist and I just happen to poke the right button to piss him off or whatever.
Yeah.
But, so over and over in this movie, we see the potential power of knowledge, of knowing other people, understanding other people. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like the demon has a pretty close to perfect understanding of Jimmy, of James, of Dr. James or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the whole time, he's just dancing around and poking and poking and poking. And the poor doctor, he's a human being, so he has just the knowledge that he came into that room with, which is basically nothing. So he has really no defense against someone who knows basically everything. I don't know a ton about him.
Yeah.
And so, generally speaking, one of the questions philosophy wants to know is it's called epistemology. How do we know what we know? And then what do we use our knowledge for?
Yeah.
And so this movie's answer to that question, what do we use it for, is we should be using it to lift and build and strengthen others. Otherwise, you end up possessed or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I personally am not going to take a position on whether demons exist or not, whether possession is a thing or not. But if we take it a step back, I think that this movie has a lot to say for example, about that. I think it is possible for us to become quote unquote demons without being possessed.
Oh.
If we use knowledge to damage or to claw our way up at the expense of other people.
Yeah.
I think one of the main messages of this movie is that knowledge needs to be used to build and strengthen and help and lift.
Yeah.
So,
okay, one of my favorite things, first look how it's quiet when you talk because it's actively not recording over here. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah. That's what it was supposed to be. I thought I had it set up correctly, but obviously I didn't.
Well, next time you'll know. So, one of my favorite things from this whole podcast, from Marvel to Star Wars to Lord of the Rings to Indiana Jones to Pirates of the Caribbean and all the fun stuff in between. To Dune, baby. So it comes from the Indiana Jones movies because we were kind of consistent with this idea of like, can you find truth anywhere? You know? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think about, like that you said that I think about, so you changing my brain, because I have to put this carefully, because it's not like anti-science, but like the problem with scientists is when they aren't open to different ways of understanding something.
Sure.
Or like they're set in their ways of like, this is how it is, no questions asked. Where what you're talking about, it's like, if you have a knowledge, but you are not willing to look at something else as a source of knowledge, or like even be open-minded to consider the possibility of other things being true, whether you believe it or not, or willing to believe it or not. That's like that lack of critical thinking.
Sure.
That
Absolutely.
Quote unquote geniuses get into, you know, because that's where I think problems happen. Just in various places where it's like there are super smart people, but they limit knowledge because they don't think it's either worth their time or an accurate source of knowledge. And that's, I guess, what the doctor does here.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a great quote for that.
Go for it.
That the demon says. He says, sometimes smart people have a hard time believing stuff that everybody else knows.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're right.
Because, to harken back to ourselves, when we were like alien possessions, why can't you believe the crazy man that got abducted by aliens?
Right.
It probably didn't happen, but what if there's something there that you can learn from or gain something out of for evidence or something, That's I think about that all the time, or when it pops up like in this movie. Yeah.
So that part is the first part, like the epistemology. How do we know what we know?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
In class today, one of the students, we had to come up with discussion questions, and one of them had a great question. And it was about, it was something like, are there different levels of knowledge, knowledge versus being smart or something. And I remember in college, I had a professor, we were talking about IQ tests, and how sometimes people put too much weight on IQ when there are other ways to determine intelligence. Mm-hmm.
Or to be intelligent.
And specific people will be like, nope, I have a high IQ, and if you're not anywhere close to this, you are dumb, type of thing.
Yeah.
That's like the limiting of knowledge.
What counts as knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I love that the demon calls him Jimmy all the time. It's so funny. Because he's like, I'm a doctor. I've worked very hard. Jimmy. Anyhow.
And you are a doctor.
I am.
And you are Dr. Dietz.
Sure. Yeah. Anyhow, so Jimmy does a good job, or James or Doctor, whatever, does a good job representing that side of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm smart. I have a doctorate. I have knowledge. You are a bumpkin. You don't know anything. Therefore, my way of understanding reality or whatever is correct. Yours is wrong.
Yeah.
And we see that, again, this is a didactic movie. It has an axe to grind. It's got a message. The message, as far as knowledge goes, is that we have to be open to other ways of knowing, other sources of knowledge. We can't discount one source of knowledge just because we don't believe in it, we don't have background in it, we haven't had experience with it. Not to say that all knowledge sources are equal.
Yeah.
Not to bring up social media again, but all knowledge sources are not equal. And so we have to be critical in where we get our knowledge that forms our knowledge base.
Yeah.
But we also have to be critical, like you just said, in allowing sources of knowledge to be valid that aren't currently in our wheelhouse, or not currently things that we've accepted.
Yeah, because there's also a danger of believing everything.
Yeah.
Which
is definitely a danger.
Years ago, I used to listen to a podcast. I won't name the name because they're big and whatever. But they talked about ghost stories, and I stopped listening to them because I'm like, okay, you got to add a little bit of like they just believed everything.
Skepticism
at face value. I'm like, all right, we maybe need a little, but there's a danger in, I guess, both sides.
Yeah, right.
Believing everything at face value, not even interested in listening to anything else if it doesn't fit.
There's a straight and narrow way.
Yeah.
Between the two of those. Yeah.
But
I completely agree.
But what's interesting, it's the demon that opens up the doctor's mind about that.
Yeah, which is, it's really interesting because, in theory anyway, the doctor is the one that has the knowledge in this situation.
Yeah.
Because, what is the demon?
Nefarious is his name.
Yeah, but the guy.
Oh, I forget.
Oh, anyhow.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. So in theory, in this situation, the doctor should have had the upper hand. As the educated one, but he clearly didn't from the very start of this, and so
his name is Edward.
Edward, that's right.
Because here's the thing. At the end of the movie, it ends with the Glenn Beck show, which is kind of funny.
It's super annoying.
It's just, and it's like a real life look. Like, it's like, if I were to watch an interview like that, where he's like, something took a hold of my body, I'd have been like, this is dumb. That didn't happen. Yeah. But if I was to listen to myself from just a few minutes ago on this podcast, you'd be like, wait, I mean, maybe something happened. Yeah. But if it's weird how, okay, there's a thing in our religion that kind of goes, it's sacred, not secret. Yeah. Where it's like, if you talk about specific spiritual things, sacred things, it's not going to mean anything outside of where it happened or when it happened. Mm-hmm. Like, if I told just whoever I wanted about something that happened to me that was super significant and spiritual in my life, they might not care or, make it seem, sure. I don't know, stupid or something or whatever, but even if, because in the movie, it did happen. He got possessed, tried to shoot himself with the gun, but it didn't happen. It's a miracle. But when you proclaim that on TV, it somehow loses, the power that moment had. Mm-hmm. I think that's true with religion in general. Yeah,
I would agree.
Got to be careful with who you share, when you share, I guess, spiritual moments.
Yeah. So in the epistemological argument, the argument of what counts as knowledge and what doesn't, there's a big school of thought that says that experience is the key source of knowledge. And so what you just described is what makes having those experiences so powerful, but it also aptly illustrates the limitation of experience as knowledge. You can't transfer experience. You can't teach experience. You can share experience, but you're right, the context of the experience is missing. Yeah. And so experience is an excellent source of personal knowledge, of understanding for yourself. Yeah. But it definitely has limitations as far as being able to share that knowledge. Yeah. But acquiring experiences, I feel like opens up power for us to use knowledge to hopefully benefit other people, the people around us. So yeah. Epistemology is an interesting...
Epistemology.
How do we know what we know?
How do we know what we know? Okay, can I just walk through some of the plot of the movie?
Sure.
And various thoughts I had.
Yeah, for sure.
The movie starts off, we see someone kill themselves by jumping out a window.
Yep.
Turns out it's the doctor before our doctor. But the picture frame in his office, it's of his doctorate or something, it's crooked, and then it fixes itself. And at the time, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was like, did that really happen? Or is that a subjective thing? Right. Now it's probably really happened. Yeah. Because it kind of goes with some themes with secularism, which will come into my lens later on.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, everything in this movie is important. It's well thought of and important. Yeah. I thought it was interesting. It came up twice. Once near the beginning and then at the end. This idea that movies and TV shows are corrupting people.
Okay. I don't remember that, but go.
Okay, because did it happen twice, or am I just making things up now? Because the demon mentions how, if you step back at a post-structuralist lens, it's the writer just wanted to get this message across. But in the movie, the demon says you guys are corrupting your own selves right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And part of that was through media.
Yes, yeah, yep.
And we've talked to this at various lengths before, but yeah, it is. But there's, in my brain, there's not one evil person twirling his mustache being we will slowly corrupt the mass people.
Right, you're right.
It just happens.
Well.
Or does it just happen?
Right.
Right.
And again, kind of... I don't want
to just say Disney. We know you're talking about Disney.
I'm talking about Disney. I don't want to take a stance on the whether or not demons and blah blah blah. But so another question philosophy wants the answer to is human nature. What makes up human nature? The different parts of human nature, and there's lots of philosophies about it. But there does tend to be kind of agreement that there are two sides to human nature. So we can see this in the yin and the yang. We can see this in Freud, id, ego, superego. And so the interesting thing about that is this movie's argument, even if demons don't exist or whatever, is that humanity that isn't thinking critically tends towards the dark, tends toward the secular, tends toward the basest forms of interaction, entertainment, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, again, independent of whether there's a demon behind that or not, it's another aspect of critical thinking. So we think, we think about the 60s, which is now, 75 years ago, whatever, Woodstock was 70 years ago.
Dang.
65 years ago. Anyhow, Woodstock and the whole Summer of Love is billed as, this is a great liberating experience, and how great it is that we can now boink whoever we want, whatever. But if it's true that we tend towards baseness, we tend towards the animal nature of ourselves rather than the intellectual or the spiritual nature of ourselves, the celebration of the Summer of Love is us taking ourselves down. It is us actively moving ourselves towards the more animal, the more base of our nature. And so fast forward to now, I just read a paper for my class about video games, right? I'm not saying one way or the other about video games, but one of the statistics in this was that the majority of all video games have violence in them. Violence is a base animal tendency. That's how animals solve problems. If you have a meat and I don't have a meat and I want the meat, the animals would not, hey, why don't we just share and you can have 60%? No, they're going to fight. Whoever wins gets the meat, right?
Yeah.
So again, our movies and entertainment are trending towards animal or more base stuff.
Yeah.
The approach to sex now is very animalistic.
Yeah.
Like animals, with very few exceptions, do not mate for life. Animals, with very few exceptions, just, sow their seed wherever the seed is ready to be sown.
Yeah, actually, last summer we went on a whale ship. I learned that. Like, whales don't mate for life.
Yeah.
They mate, have a baby. The mom leaves the baby forever once the baby's grown, and then it goes and has another baby next year type of thing.
And so...
That's why birds are the best. Birds mate for life.
Some birds mate for life, yeah. So, anyhow, to just kind of wrap this up, that aspect of the philosophical part of this movie, the argument is that we are debasing ourselves. Alcohol and drug use, that's exactly what it's doing. Like, if you take somebody and they get drunk, they are going to be more animalistic as a drunk person than they would be as a not drunk person. And so I think that the demon character is correct. We are debasing ourselves as a race. We are actively choosing to step away from the ennobling things and I will also say that not all of this I'm not pining for the 1800s or whatever. Not all of the stuff that society is built on is good. Like the subjugation of one race over another or under another. Obviously that is not good. That's base. That was historical for thousands of years. We at least are moving towards not doing that anymore. Although the demon mentions that there are currently, I think, 26 million slaves on the planet, or 260 million, something like that. I don't know if that's right. I assume it is. So not everything was better in the 50s or whatever. Women's rights. There's lots of stuff that is moving towards ennobling, to empowering humanity over the rest of the animal kingdom. But I think this is really long. I think generally speaking, our entertainment does not do that. Yeah. It pulls us down. Music has gotten to the point where it does that as well. Video games, social media, and so Sorry, I'm going to finish and then I promise I'll be quiet. So a critical approach to that part of the question, what is human nature, what is the nature of humanity, is that we need to be much more critical in what we put into ourselves.
Well, I think, is that the message or just something we as people need to do better?
Well, that's what because if this movie was written to deliver a certain way of viewing all of this stuff, then I would say that is the message. We have to be more elevating in how we choose to use our time.
Yeah, and yes. And we were just talking yesterday, or I was talking to another teacher and you were in the room, but...
Sorry, I was eavesdropping.
No. I mean, like, when you have little kids at home and you work, like me right now, I go to work, I come home, then I'm with the kids for a little bit, then it's bedtime. Bedtime takes a while sometimes. And then, if I'm lucky, I get some time to myself.
Sure.
So it's like, what should I do with my time? Now is when I can read a book, or play a video game, watch a movie, or listen to an album. Man, listening to an album sometimes feels like work, am I right? Sorry.
Some albums, for sure.
See, that's not even for you, listener. That's just for Dietz. Dietz loves music.
I do.
He's all about music. And I haven't listened to an album in years. And you're like, how not? I'm like, because I don't have time to sit down and listen from A to...
I listened to an album this morning on the way to work.
What was it, Dietz? Give a good shout out to the people.
It was Sultans of Swing, Dire Straits. Magnificent album. It's beautiful. It brought me joy.
Probably satanic if you think about it.
No, I'm sure.
You know what's funny when you're like, there's a lot of like in the 60s and stuff, like, oh, they're putting secret messages in. Yeah. Listen to it backwards. People only think that because there was a button on players that said backwards. And it's like, I don't know, listen to this 100 times. Let's listen to it this way. And it just came from boredom, you know?
Sure.
I don't think it's the Beatles. It was maybe Rolling Stones or something where it's like, how can we put a message backwards when we can barely talk frontwards or something? Anyway, it's all like the satanic panic that happened back in the day. But in a way, satanic panic, it's easy to laugh at and scoff at, but maybe because it's so easy that it's so bad right now. And when I say
that's
bad,
the message of this movie.
That's what I mean. I'm connecting it. I'm bringing it back, Dietz.
I like it.
Because I do think there are some things we've let go as a society that make me a little sad. Yeah. Like, let me just say one that bothers me. And if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. It doesn't have to. But I'm sad on our movies designed for families and kids, including cartoons, will now say, like, hell and oh my god. I don't like that.
I don't either.
I'm like, it's even in, like, the Lilo and Stitch trailer, one of those, like, as a joke. Like, oh, we used to not have even this in our kid movies. But now
trending to the base.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's like the bare minimum example of maybe stuff that's not the best for our kids and stuff. Because anyway, what the teens are watching these days is probably not very good. I'm looking at you, Instagram Reels. There are some songs I hear on the radio, I'm like, wow, this is not a song I want my child to hear. You know?
Yep.
Anyway.
So without the check of critical thinking,
yeah,
we trend towards the base.
Yeah, the rebel base, Star Wars. I'll cut that out.
Please.
Okay, so this is just a fun fact about myself. When I was like in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, a kid in my class said that his dad or grandpa or someone sold his soul to the devil. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But then in real life, I was scared to do it by accident. I'd like be like, what if I sold my soul to the devil? Oh, what if I just did it? Oh no, I don't want to. I don't like. I was scared of accidentally selling my soul to the devil.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was little 7-year-old me. Because some kid told me that his dad did that. I'm like, anyway. Something I think is really cool is that this is a fight. It does point out that it's a fight. It's not just a debate. They are having a fight.
Ready for round 2?
Right.
I didn't know we were fighting.
That's
why you're losing.
Yeah. And like, he gets the head start, then the other guy gets a couple feet up, and then they hit each other down and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's a big question, Dr. Dietz. what would you have as your final meal? I know the guy and the demon murdered people in real life, but we didn't see that. So it feels like the worst thing the demon ever does is not let the guy eat his final meal. It's like, come on, give him the cheeseburger.
Well, I'll think about your question, but yeah, there's various. That's why I think this is such a powerful movie, because there's various points in here where the demon's like, oh, this crappy thing is happening. He retreats and lets the poor guy get the crap beat out of him with nightsticks, or feel the terror of getting his head shaved, or like, anyhow. Yeah. My last meal, let's see. I don't know. It has to be $25 or less.
No,
so
just do your dream last meal.
Cheeseburger and fries would be a good last meal.
It does sound good. Like, man, there's nothing beats a cheeseburger. Or like burger and a milkshake sometimes.
Maybe a pizza. I love pizza.
From where? Where's your favorite pizza place?
Papa Murphy's.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Their Chicago style stuffed crust. That would be my final meal probably.
In college, my wife and I worked at Cafe Rio. And in the vicinity was also a Papa... Did you say Papa John's or Papa Murphy?
Murphy's.
Oh, never mind. There's Papa John's. Papa John's was in there. We would trade coupons all the time. So college, I ate Cafe Rio and Papa John's all the time.
Not bad.
Papa Murphy's is good, though.
I ate ramen noodles.
Well, I don't know how that relates to anything.
In college.
Oh, I see. Oh, you ate... I thought you said you hate ramen noodles.
I
was like, okay.
I hate them now, but
fun fact about...
that's basically what I ate in college. Ramen noodles and cereal.
If I could have anything for my last meal, it'd be surf and turf. Steak and lobster, mashed potatoes.
That's not $25.
I know, I'm saying if I could have anything. Okay. Also a milkshake. I like milkshakes. Yeah,
that's the dessert of the real, is not a hamburger, fries, and a milkshake.
Right. It's the fact he didn't get that. Oh, okay, the warden. So at the end, he's like, I don't know, he should be executed. The warden's like, one day he's going to be at the foot of your bed. I'm like, okay, warden. What the crap, man?
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an effective use of pathos as a argumentative, persuasive tool by the ward.
Yeah. I am maybe a little surprised the doctor did stay to watch the execution, because the demon told him to. It's like, quit playing into the demon's hands.
Yeah, demon told him to execute him. He did.
And here is, it's not a nitpick at all, because obviously they're both smart and it makes sense contextually, but this happens all the time, especially in like TV shows like CSI or something, where someone will quote something and like, oh, Hamlet, like the other person just knows. I don't think that happens in real life. Maybe,
probably
Dietz.
Not.
Maybe if you have good English teachers like you and me. But
we prepare our students to quote random things.
Quick, quote it! But like, he quotes Shakespeare, and the barber knows that it's Shakespeare. And this is like a nitpick, because I've seen it enough times, like in a show where a cool cop will say something, and the other guy would just know what it is. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I like it though, because I can't quote the Shakespeare line, but the barber goes, oh, Shakespeare? He write that? Like, those are his words, that they're based on my actions or something. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's a cool demon thing to say.
Yeah. He says a lot of cool demon things.
Anyway, and then the ending, it just grinds to a halt at the end.
The execution or the
one
year later?
The 1 year later, a literal TV interview.
I think we're going to pretend that the 1 year later doesn't exist as part of this movie, and
But here's maybe a more interesting way to end. What if the guy... This is going to sound like I just want blood, though. This is going to sound like I demand violence in my movies. What if the guy did start shooting people because he was all of a sudden possessed, because he said he wanted to be possessed, and then he ended up in jail? That's a fun twist around.
That's true. It wouldn't get his book published, though, which was the goal. I know,
but the book thing is so... makes me roll my eyes, because it's like... This book will do everything. What's going to be in the book?
We're not going to tell you.
Stuff.
That's true. If this movie has a weak spot other than the con, it's the book.
In theory.
Or other than the 1 year later thing.
Yeah. What's really funny, though, is he wrote a book denouncing all the things that was supposed to be in the book, and he shows the cover, and it's like the worst book cover of all time. It's just like a guy facing away from camera or something.
Yeah.
I was like, no one's going to buy that book. Anyway, and then the ending is kind of fun.
Yeah.
He bumps into Nefarious again.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah. That is.
Those are various thoughts I had while watching.
Those are good various thoughts. So there's other philosophical stuff
Go
that
for
I
it.
want to cover.
Does one of them include the line, good and evil are social constructs? Yes. Okay. What is good? What is evil?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it's different for different people.
Sure.
I just watched, speaking of schlock I just watched Night of the Hunter, 1955.
Not schlock.
And it's the guy who's one of the most evil guys ever.
Yeah.
Uses religion to get his way. He used religion to literally marry the widow in an attempt to get the $10,000.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, would be worth over $100,000 in today's money.
Still not that much. But, I mean, if you're going to marry somebody for money, it's going to be okay. Anyhow, you're giving me... You're giving me the side.
Mr. $100,000's not that much money.
I mean, if you commit crime...
But
you're like, I will kill you for this candy bar. Anyhow,
in Night of the Hunter, he is like the mockery of religion.
Yeah.
You know? But then he uses this idea of like, oh, the good Lord. And like, people buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a lady near the end who is the embodiment of pure religion. Like, she does what she practices what she preaches type of thing, you know? And it's the exact antithesis of the hunter, whatever his name is, Harry something. I just watched it, can't remember. But I guess, like, where was I going with this? Oh, evil is a social construct. That guy in Night of the Hunter is the most evil person ever, but people don't even see that because he puts on this...
Right.
He's constructed a front of religion to do whatever he wants, basically.
Yeah, it's true. So, if you don't mind, I want to take a step or two back and then get a running start at that.
Please do.
So, one of my favorite lines in the movie is near the start when they're first meeting each other. And the psychiatrist guy, Jamie, he says, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in whatever. And the demon says, you ignorant sack of meat. You think your atheism will protect you. And so that's so interesting to me because in the context of good and evil is just a societal construct, we can think that, and even believe it and live that way. But another philosophical question is, what is truth? What is the nature of truth? If enough people believe something, does it become true? This is something we talked about last week with Dune. But the demon, if we accept the premise of this movie, the demon has been around for thousands of years. He's seen, he knows, whatever. Is believing that good and evil are a societal construct going to change anything in terms of truth or in terms of reality? And I guess the demon would say, no, it doesn't. Like, truth is truth. There is universal truth. The demon knows some of it. He knows that this and this happened, whatever. And so, when our psychiatrist friend says good and evil are societal constructs, the demon, looking in from the outside, from a position of having more knowledge or more truth, is like mocks him because, great, if you want to think that serves my purposes. You can't see what I can see. Yeah. You can't. And so you believing that means that you're going to continue debasing yourself and you're going to continue to make animalistic choices. That's great. But the demon also says, he responds to that with, do you think my victims thought I was evil? That's a fantastic question. So I guess to come back to your question, good and evil as societal constructs, how do you know what it is? I guess it's you know it when you see it. Yeah. Is one answer. I can recognize that. What is the guy's name from the Night of the Hunter? I don't remember.
I call him the preacher. It's Harry something.
Yeah, the preacher puts on the facade of good to accomplish evil. Yeah. And so appearance is one way of acquiring truth, knowledge, understanding the nature of reality. We tend as non-critical human beings to stop there. which is why the preacher is able to do what he can do, which is why the demon is able to do what he can do. Because if it appears good, or if enough people say that something is good, we accept that's good. Like the Summer of Love. Enough people said, this is great, we're becoming sexually liberated and whatever. Enough people said that, started to believe that that was true.
Yeah. But one of my favorite quotes that came from a religious talk, he brought up the song from the 50s that said, a million people can't be wrong. Yes, they can be.
Yeah.
Like unequivocally wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, with so many people saying this is good,
Right.
it's hard to even consider, like, wait, maybe it isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah. So truth is, we start with appearance.
Yeah.
If we get past the appearance, we get to that, like whatever's popular we follow, or whatever the most people think they must know, because there's a lot of people saying that.
Yeah.
And so we have those two. Those are the default, I think, for just about anyone that is not willing to think critically about the world around us. And that's why last week, when we were talking about, being blown around by whoever's the loudest or the most popular influencer right now, that's why it happens. Mm-hmm. Because we as a species, critical thinking is hard. It takes work to evaluate things and think about things from multiple angles. And so, to borrow from last week, when we had those 3 tiers of people, right? The people that have no anchor, the people who are anchored to something. Anchored to something potentially is better, because you're going to at least be consistent.
Yeah.
But so if we keep moving up the ladder of critical thinking, so we have decided to anchor ourselves to something, and that's where a lot of people stop. Even like this quote unquote smart people, they stop. Like the scientists we're talking about, or religion people, or like basically anyone who has elevated themselves out of it looks good. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
And that's how we decide. So the next thing up, we have anchored ourselves to something, and then we stop looking. That's not good either. That does not necessarily mean that you have arrived at truth or at actual knowledge.
Yeah.
You've just picked a knowledge and said, this is my knowledge. And so the next level up requires us, and to arrive at critical thinking requires us to examine every major thing, every major belief that we hold, every major thing that shapes how we interact with the world, and continue to poke on it and continue to acquire new knowledge, acquire new truth, acquire new experiences, so that we are continually moving towards the best anchor, which is something we talked about last week. Very few people, unfortunately, are willing to continue asking, is this still true? Now that I've had this experience, or I've acquired this piece of knowledge, how does that fit in my preconceptions or what I chose to anchor to? And so, again, I feel like this movie is begging us to keep asking, keep acquiring. Don't get cemented into a certain way of thinking about the world until, like, you've done critical thinking. You've asked, you've tested, you've tried, you've explored, you've thought, you've researched. Then you can start solidifying, but you have to keep asking and you have to keep seeking. So that's why I love this movie, is it hits so many major philosophical things. So there you go. That's my vision of the acquisition of truth. How do we know something's true? In this life, with the shortness of it, probably we maybe can't ever, but we can certainly continue moving towards it until we die.
Yeah.
Unless there's a religious answer that I would suggest we can actually know, but that's not what this podcast is about. Keep moving, keep asking questions, keep thinking, keep pushing on your beliefs, and you will continue to grow in knowledge towards truth. That would be what I would say about that.
Oh, Dietz.
What?
You are a wise man.
Am I?
You are wise beyond your ears, as my sister-in-law would say. So you've actually dabbled in some of my thoughts. Guess what lens I'm bringing to the table today?
The demonology lens.
Well, the opposite, theological lens.
Theological lens, okay.
Well, I mean, I was like, it could be easy to do psychoanalytic because he's clearly super ego.
Yeah.
And he's the Nefarious is id.
Mm-hmm.
A bit.
For sure.
Yeah, anyway.
And then ego pops up when he lets him.
But in a way, we've covered that today, you know?
Yeah.
So, I guess, okay, so this movie is the perspective of a demon explaining theology to an atheist.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. And, like, if you think about it, we get a lot of, it's almost a trope, like the confessional booth, or like the let me talk about my faith to a priest. This is like the opposite of that.
Right.
It's a demon and an atheist, like, confessing type of thing, which is kind of a fun foil, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know?
Flip the script. Yeah.
Like we've already mentioned, there are explicit themes that come across with, like, theology in mind, like things, the deliberate messages the movie wanted to come across. Anyway, so it's rational disbelief and supernatural truth. It's like like a debate between the two things, because it's like, oh, I don't believe in religion, I'm an atheist. It's like, well, you have we've danced around this already, but like, but your disbelief is getting in your way, type of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he's a skeptic. So I guess what this movie gets backed up into is that unequivocally, according to the movie, there is a demon, which means that there is a god. And
sure,
you know, as far as this movie goes. So I guess, does that kind of, like, as the other character, the doctor, that kind of maybe controls what he should believe at that point, because it's clear that he believes in evilness, but at the end, it's interesting that he's still kind of agnostic, you know?
Yeah.
He's saying he's not a believer necessarily, but his beliefs have shifted from what they used to be.
Yeah.
But I think, according to the movie, because the movie basically makes it black and white, like, this is how it is, and the doctor's learning. What do you think that means to the doctor doesn't have a solidified belief at the end?
Well, he's been knocked off of his cement. Like, he cemented himself into an atheistic belief.
Uh-huh.
And he's had enough of an experience to cause him to finally question that.
Yeah.
So he has moved, and I'm discounting the 1 year later. So at the end of
Yes.
the actual real movie,
Right.
He has been, like, his anchor is shaking loose, and he has to figure out how to deal with the fact that he is confronted with incontrovertible evidence that at least part of what he's anchored himself to is wrong.
Yeah.
So he ends this movie in a place that he could become a critical thinker. He could start moving towards asking the questions that he has not asked before.
Yeah.
Or open to the idea or the possibility of, you know, and what did you call it? A supernatural truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea. So he ends the movie in a good place.
Because it's
critically.
a conversion story.
Sure.
Maybe even more so than a possession story.
Yeah. I don't think he ends, well, in the movie proper, I don't think he ends converted.
Yeah.
I think he just ends in a, like I would say, in a critical thinking possible state.
Yeah.
Because...
yeah. Well, the demon, like when I mentioned secularism, the demon basically says, like, the modern secular world is basically the demonic, I don't know, deception. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Like, this movie, it's deliberate, but what am I trying to say? Even? But, like, with the theocratic lens, it's just highlighted, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's made with the lens in mind. That's why I thought it would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
But it just, and we talked about it, but, like, yeah, the world, maybe we should look at various things.
Sure.
I don't know. I'd say that the movies and TV shows are possessing people, but, you know, it's like, here's the funny thing. Here's an example from my real life. Back in the day, you know, we weren't really allowed to watch Friends growing up because it was, you know, a little bit dirty here and there, or a cuss word here or there. Like, my mom didn't approve of it. And now it's kind of funny, not that my mom is like whatever, but it's like, in comparison to what we have now, it's like, yeah, Friends is barely anything.
Right. And so that gets back to the kind of the demon's argument. That's
what I mean. It is the demon's argument.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Just a little step at a time.
And then, because I disagree with this, but I found one guy comparing like confined space of the jail kind of being the metaphor for of evil. You know, you get trapped and stuff. But I'm like, the jail cell's so big. I mean, it could have been interesting.
Yeah.
But you could say evil is claustrophobic, because for a believer or using the theological lens, it's like if you are choosing evil things or to lead a certain type of life, a theologian will say you're actually limiting your choices.
Yeah.
And you're putting yourself in a jail cell.
That's what the demon would say too.
Right.
Surrender the free will.
Right. And like there's a story in the Book of Mormon, a guy who chooses bad things on purpose and teaches people that the way of God is wrong and this way is right. And what's funny is the prophet confronts him and's like, he loses his voice, he's struck dumb, and then like literally gets trampled to death. And it's like Satan doesn't even care for the people that praise him type of thing. But that's what happens in this movie.
Yeah, we see that. That's exactly what happens to the poor Edward.
Poor Edward. You feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, man, this guy is acting so hard right now.
So good.
That's how I view things. It's like, yeah, it's fun, probably. Or it feels good. But Satan doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
He's gonna let you get trampled to death or electrocuted in the chair.
Yeah.
Any hoozles. That's probably all things I was trying to pull.
So that ties to another philosophical thing about free will, which they talked about at length in this movie. But yeah, so the idea that the more animalistic we become, the less free will we have. So we surrender as we move towards animalistic tendencies. We're giving up the opportunity or the choice to do other things. Whereas if you move towards more ennobling things, critical thinking, not closing options, not doing things that will enslave you, you get more and more and more free will.
Yeah.
So just independent of religion or the existence of God or whatever, I feel like we can recognize that. If like the easiest example is always drugs. If you choose to use your free will to take some kind of an addictive drug, we all, like the whole planet at this point, knows you will become addicted and you will no longer have free will to the extent that you did before you started.
What if you don't hurt anyone, Dietz?
You're still hurting yourself. You're surrendering free will. And as you surrender free will, you become more animal-like.
Yeah.
To the point that, I mean, it's all over in movies where an addict will do insane animalistic things.
Here's two examples for
to
you.
Get their next fix. Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream is one of the most upsetting movies I've ever seen. It's up there with like, I've seen that once. I don't need to see that one again. But it's about three separate people who get into drugs and their life just falling apart. And it's a really good, don't do drugs. Yeah. The other one is Train Spotting.
I haven't seen that either.
It's kind of like a cult classic. There's a Train Spotting 2, which, funny enough, it gets nicknamed T2. But Train Spotting, they do heroin specifically. And it, literally tells you, getting off of heroin is awful. You could die if you cut cold turkey. Also, your body rejects it. Your body goes through all of these awful things. Sure. But it's because you did it in the first place.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that movie's about, but in a roundabout way, it's like, hey, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Your life will get ruined.
Yeah. But, yeah. And so in terms of how to use or how it does free will exist or whatever, I think that we can see evidence that it does exist. Choices, consequences. And so in terms of this movie's recommendation for how we use free will, we should always make the choice that will lead to more free will in the future, more ability to choose in the future, because going the other way ultimately leads to no free will at all. And when we're talking about surrendering free will, it's not just drugs, it's any kind of addiction, sex, phones, even entertainment, anything that is taking your ability to make more choices away. That's what I would call evil.
Not even just choices, because I am an addict. I'm addicted to my phone. Dietz, admitting it's step one, right?
That is true.
But it's not just choice. It's like just takes time.
Well, right.
Know?
So that is the loss of your free will.
Yeah.
If I use these 3 hours to doom scroll, I have given up whatever else I could have used those 3 hours for. I've surrendered my will to this little box in my hand.
Yeah.
It's called, in business, it's called the opportunity cost. We have 2 options. The cost of choosing one means that you cannot do the other one. And so, yeah. So, this movie, and I actually would suggest that free will increasing things are good. Free will decreasing things are evil.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would say. I have 2 more things. So at one point when Jimmy is talking to Nefarious.
Nefarious B.I.G. Oh man, that's what would have been my nickname for you. That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
Go on.
He's asking him, okay, so what? He's playing his game. How do you possess someone? You just pop in, and he's like, no, you don't just possess someone. We need a series of yeses. And so...
Oh, yeah.
And so tying that to the free will thing, nobody just wakes up one morning as a heroin addict. You don't just... You have a series of choices. And so the demon is kind of illustrating by what he's doing to Edward or with Edward or whatever, how you get from I'm a person with agency. It's just a series of small little yeses. In the example he gave, it was like the 5-year-old dude, 5-year-old Edward steals a truck from his friend. That's a choice. And that choice allowed the next choice, which allowed the next choice, and ultimately Edward is the epitome of no free will at all.
Yeah.
Not only is he in jail, but he doesn't even get to control his body for most of his life.
Yeah.
Not that we're talking about possession, but I am talking about the surrender of free will through small incremental choices.
It's so crazy because Westworld, the TV show, really goes downhill after season 1 in the way. But I think about either season 4, I think, there's this big giant computer thing that analyzes everyone and like kind of has a path set out for everyone. And the main character, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. A character breaks into his and sees that the computer program he would commit suicide in 10 years type of thing. Like, oh, your life would be so bad. I think about that all the time. It's like, you got to live a life where you can't be programmed. I said that in quotes, but it's the same thing with like the demon thing too. It's like, if you are presented with a choice, are you going to go with what everyone thinks you're going to do? Or in this case, the devil will think you're going to do?
Yeah.
Or are you going to choose something to like not be programmed, you know?
Yeah.
Are you going to choose something to like, give you free agency? I'm reinforcing what you're already saying, but like you don't want to live your life like, oh, so-and-so, they're always going to do that. Or so-and-so's going to mess up if they do. You know, no. Live where you won't do that. Or be like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Avoid the entity. Don't do what the entity thinks you're going to do. Why are you closing your eyes and shaking your head?
I had no idea what that even means, but
you
said Tom Cruise, and so my brain just went somewhere else for a while.
I just think about that, like, specifically with bad choices.
Yeah.
You know, are you going to be programmed? Or are you going to, in this movie, be led by the devil?
Yeah. And I'm with you. I don't think there's some mustache-twirling villain behind all of this. It's just the cumulative effect of millions of people choosing to move a little bit closer to animal over a long period of time.
Yeah,
it's not, I mean, independent of the existence of a devil that's planning all of this. That's what's going on.
Yeah, like regardless of religion.
Right, you can see it happening.
Yeah.
It's not a one guy, demon, evil, whatever guy planning how do I destroy humanity. It's just the collective use of free will by humanity to the next generation having less free will. And that's the result. We pass on a world where the collective result of people choosing against free will has reduced the amount of choices that you can make. And then the next generation passes on a more reduced. and more reduced, and eventually we just become animalistic.
And you know what? Not even like a moral thing. It's just everything's turning that way.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok, mind you, but it was talking about how there's basically one main company that distributes out food to restaurants that just serve food. It's like restaurants are slowly all tasting the same. It's because behind the scenes, where they got their food was getting bought and sold to one company, growing and growing.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. The lack of choices, it goes beyond just movies and songs and stuff. It's like, oh wow. Yeah. Or even like buying plane tickets. I saw a video once saying how like there used to be lots of options, now there's basically 4, you know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of upsetting.
Or entertainment.
Yeah.
As Disney continues to, you know, consolidate the entertainment industry, the movie industry. Yeah. We are just passing to the next generation a less free will friendly world.
Okay, so you just reminded me something, Dietz, that I thought of watching this movie. The demon's all like, you did this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, well, I didn't. I just teach high school. Like, I didn't change.
Scroll.
Yeah, I doom scroll, but all right, Dietz, don't give me that face. But it's like, I didn't make the world this way, you know?
True, but
this better be a good but.
As we have talked about multiple times, you have a sphere of influence.
Okay, yeah, I should have seen that one coming.
Yeah.
All right, but regardless of sphere, the demon's like, you did this. And the guy in the movie, well, he didn't set up the system.
No.
Anyway.
He could fix it.
All right, he could fix his sphere.
Yeah.
I'm turning on our own sphere. You know.
I'm not turning on. I'll defend that to my death. If everyone in their sphere, in the context of free will, started only making choices that increase their future free will, the world changes completely.
I agree.
We then pass on a world that has more options in it to our kids than it did before.
Yeah.
Here's an easy example. Relying on AI. That is a reduction of our free will. If we continually rely on it, and I'm not saying there's nothing good about AI. I personally used AI today to fill out a form that I think is a silly form to fill out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I enjoyed it immensely to have this computer program fill this form out. Anyhow, but if we are not careful with AI, we are going to surrender our free will, our ability to think. If we start letting AI think for us, our ability to create, if we support or, whatever AI created entertainment, eventually we are going to pass on a world where there is no longer Steven Spielberg. There's only AI.
Yeah,
and all entertainment, all food, all of everything will just be a single choice. And when we get to that world, free will is gone. There are no more choices.
Yeah.
And so right now,
Brave New World and 1984
yes,
at the same time.
Yes. And so right now in your sphere, start making the choices that will increase free will for you and the people in your sphere in the future. That's how the world changes from a free will perspective.
The problem is, and I haven't seen it yet with students, but I imagine it's right around the corner, just how AI is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Like the video I was showing you, it's just like put your face in it, ask the video to do anything. Yeah, I want to see me riding a spaceship or fighting aliens. Sure. I want to see me in Gladiator. It's going to be it will be fun. That's the problem.
And we'll be amused to death, to borrow the immortal words of Roger Waters.
Roger.
Of Pink Floyd.
Oh, you know,
I'll be amused to death.
Wait, what song does that come from, Dietz?
Amused to Death.
That's the song?
That's the album.
Yeah, a little on the nose, am I right?
No.
No subtlety?
No subtlety at all. Sometimes we just gotta be beat with it.
Anyway, Nefarious. I did not love it, but I love what it's doing.
Yeah. I love it.
Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this one again.
I've already watched it 4 times.
No way.
And I still think it's just so carefully scripted.
Yeah.
and so completely credible, and so like it just forces us to think about things deeply that a lot of us don't think about deeply. And I'm not talking about the religious side of it, just like what we've covered in this podcast, the philosophical questions that we don't tend to think about deeply.
Yeah.
This movie kind of demands that.
And I think, I mean, Letterboxd is a hive mind in a bad way.
I've noticed that.
And this movie is not popular over there.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of somehow evenly spaced to a degree, but the loudest voices are like, oh, this movie's bad and awful.
Yeah.
But they're all saying the same things. It's like, you can't even play with some of the ideas or stuff you disagree with? I guess not.
Well, right. We can't.
I
We're
know.
surrendering our free will.
Right.
Our ability to think critically, we've given it up.
Yeah.
We'll just, whatever's popular, we follow.
It's like, we gotta be like Paul Atreides. An animal will cut off its arm. What will you do? And are you gonna be like an animal? Like, you said that earlier, and I was gonna bring it up, but I would have interrupted, but like, are you going to just give in to your basic base/animal instincts?
Yep.
Maybe. I'm hungry. I want to go stuff my face full of food right now.
I'm also hungry. So.
What are you gonna go eat?
Arby's.
Oh man,
I always
you're
eat
thinking
Arby's. I always eat Arby's after podcasts.
Now I want Arby's. Am I that susceptible?
Tradition.
I gotta go to Walmart though. Go get a hunting license.
Walmart is Arby's adjacent.
Literally, where we live. I mean, someone's gotta go to Arby's. Keep that place in business. All right.
So next week.
Okay. Here's our future. Next week is Avatar. James Cameron, 2009 Avatar.
And next week we will be joined by Martin Harris.
Are we?
Who will, he chose...
Maybe you should figure out the online thing this time.
Avatar to be. So he'll be with us next week. Hopefully we can figure out how to not have the horrific echo.
Okay, and then Avatar 2, which you have not seen. You've seen Avatar.
I love Avatar.
You've not seen Way of Water.
I have not.
And Avatar 3 is coming out in December, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
And if you... we have a lot... We'll talk a lot, but Avatar became the poster child of overrated. Partially because it made...
How the heck can Avatar be overrated?
Well, it made all the money in the world, but like... I think those people are wrong. I think Avatar is better than you think it is.
It's amazing, yeah.
And I think Avatar 2 is better than the naysayers think they are. It is.
Never seen it.
And I'm excited to go on that journey with you. And then we'll have a Jason's Choice. Next will be Harry Potter. We are almost to our 100th episode.
I don't want to watch all of the movies.
Regardless of when Harry Potter comes, our 100th episode is coming out.
That is true.
And we are going to have a 100th episode Bluey special.
Yes, we are.
Also, there's going to be a takeover of our podcast.
Yeah, we've been informed that a hostile takeover is coming at some point.
We are going to have an episode that the two of us will not even be on.
Yeah, where the apologists for the Twilight movie series will take over. And...
Yeah, I think they're only talking about the first one, though.
Oh, okay.
But maybe they'll do all of them.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
It'll be wild and crazy.
That will be wild and crazy.
So a lot of not normal DOTR coming up.
DOTR, wow.
Shaking up.
How did it take us so long to even say that out loud?
I don't know.
I've never even thought of that. DOTR.
That is not true. You came up with it.
No.
You called the thing DOTR. Anyhow. We're just like, no, it was your idea. No, it was your great idea. Anyhow. So, lots of fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Lots of experimental, explorative stuff.
I mean, Avatar 2, Jason's Choice, Bluey and Twilight and Harry Potter. I mean...
all coming up. The hits just keep on coming.
Anyway, this was, I think, a good episode.
I hope so.
I mean...
I feel like I yapped a lot, but...
I don't know how many people are going to be like, oh, a Nefarious episode. Can't wait for that. Like...
Probably not.
Not a lot.
But it was your brother's suggestion, so...
Yeah, I was. And I'm glad I watched it.
I am glad that you watched it, too. I'm glad that we could talk about this stuff, so...
It's got some big ideas.
It does.
Somehow, man, why is it... I know what you're going to say. Why is it that the movies with the low budget and off the beaten path have some of the biggest ideas? The sigh heard round the world. Anyway, you don't even have to answer that.
Yeah, I don't think I need to answer that.
I'm just thinking of, like,
'Cause they make money.
Money! It's all about the
We
money!
want the machine. We want the predictable plot lines and the explosions and the boobies.
All right. Now you're saying things I don't actually agree with, but...
No, that's what we pay for. We don't pay to be intellectually stimulated and challenged. We want,
I don't know.
We want
Dune
explosions
is
and
kind of a good
crap.
argument against that.
That's true. Which is yeah. So there are the exceptions, like Dune.
Yeah.
And Avatar.
Yeah.
Big
Man,
ideas.
I mean, I can't wait for you to see both of them because... Anyway, never mind. We'll get Avatar tomorrow or next week or whatever. But
Sure.
we love you.
We do love you.
Think
Thanks for
critically.
listening. Please
Thanks
think
for
critically.
listening.
Go reclaim your right to free will.
Yeah. As always...
Don't say yes to demons.
As always, yes. Say no to demons. As always, if you walk without the rhythm, it won't attract the worm.
That's so last week.
As always, ghost sharks are good.
That's so never.
We love you.
We do love
Bye.
you. Bye.